morning students. So in our last video in evolution chapter we studied about the theories of evolution and our last theory was neo-Darwinism. So in this video we will study about the examples of natural selection. So what is the first example of your natural selection is industrial melanism. Now, to understand this industrial melanism, we'll denote an example here. That is in 19th century. In 19th century, the place was or the country was England, and in England, the city was Birmingham. So, in 19th century, in England, in Birmingham city, the large amount of grey moth occurred. Large amount of or large number of grey moth occurred or found on plants. Now, this was the time when industrialization have not occurred. So, in 19th century, before industrialization, large amount of grey colored moth was found in England. Now, the scientific name for this grey colored moth was Biston Betularia. Biston Betularia. So, before industrialization, when there was no pollution or the environment is pollution free, large number of grey colored moth was found in England, in Birmingham city. Behind this large number of grey moth, the reason is that because the industrialization have not occurred, the industries have not developed, so the environment was pollution free, and in pollution free environment the lichens grow in plentiful amount. The lichens grow in plentiful amount on plants, and as we know, these lichens are usually grayish in color. They are usually grey colored. So these grey colored moth, they are able to hide themselves or they prevented themselves from predation being present on grey colored lichens. So as they survived from predation, they reproduced and increased their number. Now, after some time, the conditions changed. After several years, when the industrialization have occurred. When industrialization occurred, so after the development of industries, what happened? A large number of smoke or soot or smoke deposited on the bark or on the, you can say, on the surface of trees. On the surface of trees, and now this tree bark, it become black in color. Black in color. Now, when grey colored moth were present in large number, at the same time the black colored moth were also present in few number. Why they are present in few number? Because at that time the bark was covered with lichen which is grey colored. So in grey colored bark, this grey colored moth, they were able to survive themselves from predation. They prevented themselves from predation, due to which their number increased. But on grey colored bark, these black colored moth, they were unable to hide themselves or they are not able to prevent themselves from predation. So due to which these black colored moth, they are easily visible to their predators and they are predated and killed. So black colored moths were present in few number and grey colored moths were present in large number. Now after industrialization, when soot or smoke got deposited on the bark of tree, so this bark become black colored, and in this black colored bark, what happened? The black moth survived because they prevented from the predation, or they prevented themselves from their predators. So this black colored moth survived and their number got increased as they carry out the reproduction. But when the bark of tree it became black, then at that time the grey colored moths, they were unable to hide themselves, or they are unable to prevent themselves from the predation. So they are predated and killed by their predators, due to which their number got decreased. Now in this case, as we are studying the example of natural selection, what was selected by nature? The nature selects only those which are best suited to the particular environmental conditions. So the best fitted organisms are selected by nature. In this case, when the nature selected the grey moths, why nature selected the grey moths? Because these grey moths were able to prevent themselves, or they hide themselves on grey colored lichens. So they prevented themselves from predation. That means in this case the grey colored moths were more adapted to that particular environmental conditions. But when the environmental conditions got changed after industrialization, the bark of the tree became black due to deposition of soot or smoke. At that time the nature selected the black moths, because at that time the black moths, they are able to survive or able to prevent them from the predation. But the grey moths, they are easily visible on grey bark, so they are easily predated and they are killed by their predators. Now during this 19th century, in industries are using coal as a source of energy. That's why they are releasing the large amount of soot or smoke. And because they are releasing large amount of soot or smoke, the lichens got disappeared. When the lichens got disappeared, the soot deposited on the plant bark and bark became black colored. As we know, these lichens are highly sensitive to the pollution. That's why after industrialization, the lichens, they got disappeared. Now as we know, during this era the industries were using coal as a source of energy, but later on the era was seen, that is industrialization. But now the industries start using electricity as a source of energy. And when electricity was used as a source of energy, the smoke or soot, it got decreased in amount. And when smoke or soot decreased, the pollution decreased in the atmosphere. And when the pollution got decreased, the lichens again grow in plentiful amount on the plants. And these lichens are grey colored. So during this era, the grey colored moths, they increased in number, and the black moth, they decreased in number. So in this case also, the nature selecting the most fitted organism, which is best suitable to its environmental conditions. Now the second example of natural selection is DDT resistance in mosquitoes. DDT resistance in mosquitoes. So in 1940s, that is before the use of DDT, the population of mosquitoes is very large. That means the mosquitoes were present in large number. So suppose if this is the population of mosquito, we are denoting by circles. These are the mosquito, or that is the population of mosquito. So before the use of DDT before 1940s, the mosquitoes were present in large amount, and some mosquitoes out of this population, out of this number, they have undergone variations. They have undergone variation. So these mosquito, they have undergone the variations. And as we know, according to Darwin, that variations occurs in a population. So in this population of mosquito, the few members undergone the variation, and this variation is a gene variation, or we can say it is a gene variation or gene mutation. Gene variation or gene mutation. And this gene variation or gene mutation, it provided some benefits to these mosquitoes. What was that benefit? The benefit was that these mosquitoes become DDT resistant. They become DDT resistant due to the gene mutation. Now, as we know, the killing of these mosquitoes is necessary because they acts as a vector for transferring the plasmodium, that is a malaria causing factor, and they are also responsible for transferring Utsieria, that is responsible for causing elephantiasis. So the killing of mosquito is necessary. Though this DDT, it is a pesticide, but it is very effective in killing of mosquitoes. So before use of mosquitoes, this gene mutation, it provided no benefits to these mosquitoes, but when the DDT was used to kill the mosquitoes, when this DDT, it was used to kill the mosquitoes, then what happened? Only those mosquitoes survived. Only those mosquitoes survived which have undergone the mutation. So only those mosquitoes survived which have undergone the mutation after the use of DDT, and rest of all these mosquitoes, they got died. Now the mosquito which got survived, it carried out the reproduction process and it increased its colonies, or it increased its population. So in this case also, the nature is selecting the most adapted ones or the most fitted ones. Nature selected those mosquitoes which are resistant to the DDT, and nature eliminates those mosquitoes which are not resistant to the DDT. So nature selects the best suited or the best fitted ones. Now the third example of natural selection is, the third example of our natural selection is, that is sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell anemia. You have also studied this disease in your first chapter of genetics, and this sickle cell anemia, as you know, it is a autosomal recessive disorder. Autosomal recessive disorder. Now, as we know, this sickle cell anemia, it is usually endemic in African continent. So it is endemic in Africa, and this sickle cell anemia, it is caused by a mutation of a gene that is responsible for maintaining the structure of hemoglobin. So when the structure of hemoglobin gets distorted, it results in circular shaped RBC into sickle shaped RBC, and this sickle shaped RBC results in clogging of blood capillaries, and clogging of blood capillaries in our body results in stopped blood supply to our vital body organs such as heart and brain and kidney, all that. So this sickle cell anemia, it is caused by a mutation of a gene that is responsible for maintaining the structure of hemoglobin, and that gene, it exists in three forms. That is, the first one is HBA, and HBA, it is normal condition or normal gene, and this normal gene results in normal RBC or normal hemoglobin. So the first case is of HBA, that is normal condition. The second case is HBA and HBS. In this case, in first case, the both genes are normal, and in this case, this HBA is normal, but this HBS is a mutated gene. So in this case, the 50% of RBC will be normal and 50% will be affected, or 50% RBC will normal and 50% of RBC will be sickle shaped, Usually we have RBC or circular shape, but in this case the RBC becomes the sickle shaped. Now in this case, the 50% hemoglobin is normal and 50% hemoglobin is defective. So in this case, what happens? This 50% defective hemoglobin, it loses its capability of transferring oxygen in our body. So the person that have HBA and HBS gene combination, that person will have decreased O2 supply to body cells. Now the third condition that occurs is HBS and HBS, and in such persons or in such human beings, these human beings dies before maturity. So they dies before maturity. Why they die before maturity? Because they have both defected genes. So before maturity, their all RBC becomes sickle shaped due to distortion of the structure of hemoglobin, and due to that reason their death occurs before their maturity. So we will not discuss this case, third case. We will discuss only the first two cases. So in the African continent, which condition is selected by the nature? So if we see biologically or genetically, this condition will looks like more perfect, that is HBA and HBA, because we have normal RBC shape and normal hemoglobin. But in continent like Africa, the malaria is more endemic. And because malaria is more endemic, so these organisms or the human beings having this combination, they are more prominent to malaria. So usually most of the death in Africa occurs due to malaria. So the person having the gene combination as HB and HBA, they are more prominent to malaria, due to which they die. But the person having HBA and HBS gene combination, this mutation, it provides a benefits to the persons present in Africa, and the benefit is the resistance to malaria. So the person having HBA and HBS gene combination, they will not be affected by the malaria. So what the nature is selecting and what is the perfect condition? If we see genetically or biologically, HBA and HBA results in normal RBC and normal hemoglobin. So it is much perfect condition. But what nature is selecting? The nature is selecting HBA and HBS. Why? Because in that African environmental conditions, the what was most suited condition is HB and HBS. Why? Because this condition provides resistance to malaria, and because this condition provides resistance to malaria, so these persons which have HBA and HBS gene combination, they are selected by the nature. Now the fourth example of our natural selection is antibiotic resistance in bacteria. So in case of this antibiotic resistance in bacteria, it was proved experimentally by Joshua Lederberg and Ether Lederberg. So this antibiotic resistance in bacteria, it was proved experimentally by Joshua Lederberg and Ether Lederberg. So this Lederberg, they carried out an experiment, and in their experiment what they did, they took a Petri plate. They took a Petri plate, and in this Petri plate they took some culture medium or the nutrient medium, and this nutrient medium was agar. So the culture medium was agar medium or agar nutrient medium. Now in this nutrient medium they grew certain bacteria. They grew certain bacteria. Now, so they grew certain type of bacteria in this agar medium or nutrient medium. Now, what happened? We are drawing this Petri plate in the round form. So this is our Petri plate that contains the bacteria that were grown in it. So this is our Petri plate that contains the nutrient medium, that is the agar nutrient medium. It contains the agar nutrient medium. So when these bacteria were grown in the nutrient medium, what happened after some time? These bacteria, they utilized the nutrient or the agar, and they resulted in the multiplication. And when they multiplied, they resulted in the formation of colonies. So they multiplied and increased their number. That means they formed their colonies. And this Petri plate, it was called as master plate. It was called as master plate. Now, in next step, with what they did, they transferred this bacteria growing in master plate in another nutrient medium, and this nutrient medium was also the agar nutrient medium. Now what they did, they took a wooden box or wooden block. So they took a wooden block like this, and this wooden block, it contains a velvet cloth at its base. So this is the wooden block, that is wooden block that contains a velvet cloth. Now what they did, they took this wooden block, they put this wooden block on this Petri plate, and due to which some of the bacteria stick on this velvet cloth, and then this wooden block was put as such on the another Petri plate that contains the agar nutrient medium. So what happened, some of the bacteria from these colonies, they got transferred into the second Petri plate that is containing the agar nutrient medium, and these bacteria which got transferred, they also utilized the nutrient which is present in this Petri plate, and they got also multiplied and resulted in the formation of colonies. Resulted in the formation of colonies. So they multiplied and increased their number. Now in next step, what they did, they again transferred the bacteria from this Petri plate into another Petri plate that contains the nutrient medium in the form of agar, that is same nutrient medium. But along with this, the agar nutrient medium, in this Petri plate, they also used a antibiotic. They used a antibiotic, and the antibiotic was penicillin. So in this nutrient medium, they along with agar, they added an antibiotic, that is penicillin, and they again carried out the same process, that is they used this wooden block containing the velvet cloth that was put on this Petri plate. Some of the bacteria got stick to the surface of velvet cloth and they transferred this bacteria on this Petri plate. Now what happened? Again some bacteria got transferred to the next Petri plate. Now in this case, this bacteria first type and second type, it increased its number and formed the colonies. So these bacteria, they formed the colonies. But the third type of bacteria, it was not able to form colonies, rather it got died. So what it suggests? It suggests that these two bacteria which got multiplied and increased in their number in the presence of penicillin, they contain some antibiotic resistance genes. They contain antibiotic resistant gene. So some antibiotic resistant gene is present in this type 1 and type 2 bacteria, but the third type bacteria, they do not contain the antibiotic gene or antibiotic resistant gene, due to which they died and got eliminated from this Petri plate. So in this case also, the nature selects the best suited ones. The best suited means the best fitted ones which contains the antibiotic resistance genes, and it eliminates those which are not suited to the environmental conditions, which are not fitted to the environmental conditions. So it is also an example of natural selection. Now as this first plate, it is called master plate, and the second plate contains the replica of bacteria which are present in first plate. So this second plate contains the replica of master plate. So this plate is called a replica plate, and due to this experiment of Lederberg, it is called Lederberg replica plating experiment. So this experiment, it is also known as the Lederberg replica plating experiment.